digressing with them. So like I said in past videos, you guys have had a ton of questions. And I'm not just talking about like on YouTube in the comment section. They've been finding their way to my Instagram, my Gmail, my Facebook, like just about everywhere. So I guess it's time to answer them. Number 1. When your ship is in another country, do you have to go through customs or can you just walk off the ship? So for me, I would say about 98% of the time I would just walk off the ship. About 2% of the time I would have to either show my passport or show a stamp that has been placed in my passport by the wonderful documentation officer on board. But that's for me as a Canadian. There are a lot of nationalities where you're going to have to show a lot more things, whether it be your passport or a visa, a lot more often. Did you pay for travel to your embarking port or did the company pay? The company paid. They also pay for me to return home. However, if I had quit during my time on the ship, I would have had to pay to bring myself home, or if I had gotten fired. Can crew members receive packages or mail on the ship? Absolutely. If your family wants to send you like a letter or a care package showing you how much they miss you, there is a crew address that they can send all of these things. Also, if you tend to be an online shopper and like to buy things, you can send things to yourself on the ship as well. But because it has to go to an office to then get sorted and sent to various ships, it can take from 1 month to 2 months depending on what it is that you're sending and where it's coming from. So just keep that in mind, that things that might only take a week at home may take a little bit longer. Does the staff celebrate birthdays or other people's holidays? Yeah. For us in the youth staff, when I was aboard, like we'd always make each other a card or something special, maybe buy each other a gift, which was usually booze. And then, you know, you go out at night, have a little party, people buy you drinks, sing you happy birthday, sometimes there's a cake, yeah. As for holidays, I feel like it's Filipino Independence Day every other day, even though it only happens once a year. So yeah, we celebrate everybody's different holidays, Independence Days, like whatever it may be. You celebrate everything around the world. You become very worldly. I've heard some horror stories about pay that you receive, or managers being nice at first and then turning into demons, or even some shoddy food on board. Okay, well, as for the pay, you do sign off on your contract before you head out to the ship, so you know how much you're making and what's gonna kind of be expected of you while you're on board. So not a surprise there. You may have to work a few more hours than you initially anticipated. Believe me when I say you work every day, and you'll work quite a few hours in that day, but other than that, shouldn't be any real surprises. As for managers turning into demons but being nice at first, that didn't really happen to me. And I'm just wondering if it's just people's minds going crazy on them, people going a little stir crazy. I mean, you're gonna see these people, these managers every day. You're gonna work with them every day, quite a few hours a day. So, I mean, maybe that's why you think that they were nice at first and they changed. Just, you know, not having time out of each other's face may play into people's emotions a little bit. But no, I didn't find that. I'm always friends with my managers. That was always cool. And shoddy food. Well, going back to my food video, like if you're somebody that likes the more expensive, luxurious things in life, then perhaps you won't so much love the best food. But if you're okay with a Big Mac and you like pizza and mac and cheese, it'll probably be a step up for you. I mean, sometimes you're gonna see weird things like pig's feet, but there'll always be like chicken, beef, and all that as another option or alternative. And the reason that you're gonna see things like pig's feet is that in some nationalities that are working on board, that is actually a delicacy and they love it. So that's why it's there for them. Us North Americans just can't have everything, okay? We're not the center of the universe. I was wondering how you uploaded videos while you were working on board. So there is internet. We do have Wi-Fi. We do have to pay for it, but luckily in the last year we've actually gotten a higher speed, much higher speed, so it's a lot faster, which enabled me to be able to upload videos for you. Also, we do go off in port and we seek out those Wi-Fi hotspots, so you'll find a lot of crew in a port at places like McDonald's and Starbucks, obtaining that free Wi-Fi and using it to our advantage. Any words of the wise for which cruise line to apply for my first time? Most cruise lines are pretty well the same now. The way that they treat their staff, the food they have, all that. And then even in terms of like where they go, I mean, if there's a particular place in the world that you would like to see, most cruise lines are doing the exact same itineraries these days. So then it really just boils down to the guest mix. I mean, do you want to deal with screaming children aboard all day? Then you'll probably want to go somewhere like Disney or Royal Caribbean, something family oriented. If you want something a little bit more luxurious, which could maybe mean better food for you, I don't know. An older guest mix, so more mature, not as many problems, but probably pickier people, then you probably want to go to Princess or Holland America or Celebrity Cruises. And if you're somebody that wants to deal with more drunks, newlyweds, people that just want a cheaper cruise, then probably go to Carnival. Can I live with my spouse on board? If your spouse works on the ship. I mean, there's different things, like different perks that we have where you can bring your spouse aboard, like for a vacation. They pay a certain amount of money per day and they can stay on board with you for a vacation. But I mean, like to stay forever? No, not unless they're working with you. Can I have my lunch twice? So we're not like meal ticketed or anything like that. Nobody watches what you're putting on your plate. So I mean, meals happen 3 times a day and there's certain hours where the mess is open. So if you have time off and you want to eat 3 times, you go for it. You eat lunch 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. You do you. Would it be easy being a vegan on a cruise ship? So I'm a pescatarian and I didn't have a lot of trouble. I mean, there's always a vegetarian and vegan option and they're usually labeled and ready to go. If you're not seeing things that you would like to see, then you want to bring that up to either the cruise chef, HR, like somebody who can actually help you and do something about it. In terms of things like soy milk, almond milk, like I never actually saw them in the crew mess per se, but I know they were on board because when I went to the guest version of Starbucks to get my beverages, like I could always get a soy latte. So it's there for the guests, but I didn't really see it for the crew. So that's to say, go forward, show yourself to HR, somebody that can make a difference for you, and tell them you need those things, and then they'll make it happen, I'm sure. The next one is in regards to beards, tattoos, brightly colored hair. So many questions on that. In terms of having brightly colored hair, I have seen quite a few girls with like bright Ariel, Little Mermaid style hair. So obviously not like a natural color. So I guess that's suffice to say that you can be hired with an unnatural hair color. However, I have not seen like blue, green, purple, like at least red is a natural hair color, just the shade they had wasn't natural at all. So I would stick to red, brown, blonde, black if you're looking to get hired. As for tattoos, they cannot be visible. So if you have them like up and down your arms, you're going to want to cover that with a sleeve or hope that your uniform is long sleeves permanently. If you have a teardrop on your face, just don't bother applying. Yeah, your tattoos, they have to be something that can be covered. And then beards. A lot of you have had questions about beards. So if you have a fully grown beard at the time of being hired and going to the ship, you may keep your beard. You've just got to keep it nicely trimmed and neat. If you should shave that beard at any time, then your face must remain shaven. Yeah, shaven. You can't try and like regrow it and have like patchy patch, Mr. like 16-year-old creep going on at your face. So obviously that works the other way as well. Like if you showed up and you didn't have anything, you're like, hey man, like beards are cool, I want a beard. Like no, you can't have one, unfortunately. When you go home on vacation, then you can try growing one and come back the next time with a beard. And probably the #1 question that I always get is, I live in Pakistan, China, Brazil, Cuba, Portugal, England, Australia, and I want to know if you can help me find a hiring partner. So, wow, I did not at any time, in any shape or form, say that I was HR for cruise ships or hiring or or any of that sort of thing. I'm merely a crew member that has a little bit of information and background and has done this. I can help you out in that way. I'm not hiring and I don't know much about it. So if you're looking to me to look for a hiring partner in your particular area of the world, I mean, I'm gonna do what you would do. I'm just gonna Google. As I said in many videos, like a lot of cruise lines will list like reputable hiring partners that they trust and usually get people from on their website. You just gotta go to like the job section and look and see if they're there. If they don't have anything, then Google it. And if you can't find your specific country, I just say like choose a country that's close to you and email that particular hiring partner and see if they can either A, help you, or B, maybe they'll take you on. But yeah, like I don't know every hiring partner in the world. I would just Google it. With that also said, I don't know exactly what's going to get you hired. I know what worked for me. I know what the type of people I worked with are like and the type of skill sets that they had to get their jobs. But again, I do not hire. I don't know if they're going to pick you. Are you employable? Getting a job on a cruise ship is a lot like getting a job on land. Like, do you have the skills required? If you're missing like a lot of the qualifications in the job posting, just like on land, they're probably not going to consider you. But if you have a lot of the things that they're looking for, then you might score an interview. It works just like that. Just because it's a cruise ship doesn't mean like it's an automatic in and that they're looking for like a million people because there's a million ships. You do have to have the skills. And finally, a lot of you want to know how you can get a job specifically in activities. So I was an activity host for about 2 years before I moved to working with the kids, and how I scored that position, me personally, was just having a lot of experience working in front of large crowds. And I would do lots of on-stage competitions, contests, things where I worked on a microphone with like large crowds of about like 1,000 people plus. I was able, no problem, to like roll in and do a game show or a trivia or host bingo. And I know now in a lot of the interviews that they're holding, they'll do things like have you introduce a fake presenter or entertainer, or they'll have you open up a game show, show what your hosting capabilities are actually like. So if you're going for an interview for an activities host, just be wary of that. Like, are you confident enough to show off your chops? Activities is all about personality. Like when you're not actually running an activity, it's being on camera, filming different feeds for the television. It's almost like being a news anchor of what's happening around the ship. You're also interacting with guests a lot. You're very social. Like, can you hold down a conversation with people? You're gonna need to do a lot of that as well. Either before, after you're hosting an activity, or just like when you're around on formal night, just interacting with guests. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for all of your questions. If you have any more, please comment below. They could become their own video or wind up in another Q&A video down the road. Any comments or concerns, as always, feel free to contact me. Bye for now.